Oops.
We
All right.
will
Let's
get
try
it.
that again. It was so good, I had to do it again, Angie.
are
So
live.
we are live. So good. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is making the time to make holiday memories. Because you never know when it's going to be the last time you see somebody. Right. And I took a week off. And yes, and I know what you're saying. You know, you're not in the same boat anymore, Mary. Okay. Uh, however, I still work. Okay. And I took 2 weeks before Christmas off one year because my daughter was graduating from Emory College as a PA. So the last Christmas appointment anyone got with me that week, that year was, I believe the last appointment was December 11th. I mean, I gave people plenty of notice, and their option was if you really needed to be that close to Christmas, you would have to use another groomer. And I suggest that they start booking that appointment like now because they don't have the relationship with them that they have with me. And I didn't get blowback from anybody. All right. And that is actually a different conversation about having the right clients.
Yes. Yes.
I
So,
had that actual discussion today with someone that came to my salon, was having the right clients.
okay. So tell us about that, Angie, before I tell about my lovely my Thanksgiving, which is my favorite holiday of the year, by the way. I like Thanksgiving way more than Christmas. And I love presents, by the way, but I love Thanksgiving.
So she came to my salon because she's like, I saw your salon. She's another groomer. She's been grooming for 32 years, accomplished, knowledgeable, educated. And she's like, I want to open a salon, but I want to know how you do this. She's like, I'm looking at your website and she's like, this looks fabulous. But you wanted to see behind the curtain. I'm like, yeah, come on down. So she did. And she was like, and she hung out for like 4.5 hours. I had her in the cat room with us and all my clients, because my cat people stay. And um, so they were all like, "Oh, are you in training with Angie too?" Because that's what they're used to, is me having a student in the room. And she's like, um, well, no, I'm." And so I explained, no, she's opening the salon. She wants she wants the ins and outs. And part of what we discussed was having the right clients, building your culture so that you're attracting the clients that fit with your culture. Like my culture for my salon is every pet deserves a spa day. And so those are the clients that I attract because they want that spa day for their pet, and they're willing to pay for that spa day for their pet, for the heated towels, for the primo pads, for you know, the pampering and the massaging and the oils and whatever it is that that pet needs, they get. And it's just known that if your pet needs this extra thing, they're getting it. It may cost you $5 more. It may cost you $10 more. They don't care. They're like, eh, spa day.
All right. All right. So that'll bring up the reason that I was able to take those. And I like money too. Okay. I really do, because you know what? It allows me to go on vacation with my grandkids. It allows me to take time off for important family gatherings. Okay. So without, again, that is having really good clients who are, and I love the way that River Lee sort of has a catchphrase for it. She calls it soulmate clients because that's really what they are. All right. It's the ones that don't. I can remember that my youngest daughter was leaving her first husband because he was abusive. And she calls me up and she says, "Can I?" She's in Atlanta. I'm up in Connecticut. Can I come get her? All right. And and I'm on my way to my first appointment. Okay. So I call my first appointment, says, you know what? I'm on my way, but I'm turning around and going home. My daughter in Atlanta needs me. And my appointment was like, no problem. All right. I call my husband and I tell him, you're put in a couple sick days. because we drove down. And so this is why I know how long it takes to get from Danbury, Connecticut to Atlanta, Georgia. It takes 16 hours of driving.
Okay.
Okay.
And I bet you often drove it straight that time and you didn't
Oh, we
stop.
drove it.
Yeah.
We drove it straight down. Okay. Again, but having that business that's in really good shape, meaning you have your clients, you're charging appropriately, allows you to do that. It's not like, hey, Cindy, after I get off, I'll be on my way down. No, it was turn around, go home, drive down. I called the vet. I said, I need an emergency board. And they're like, bring them on in. And off we went.
That's
So,
awesome.
but anyway, happier memories was Thanksgiving. So in case anyone has any question about why I like Thanksgiving over any other holiday, is that I am actually very food motivated. In case you can't tell.
Right.
Listen, I can't.
Haven't gotten to supper yet.
Right.
I just got home like 10 minutes before we went live. So
Okay, and that's dedication, Angie. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, and this is my favorite holiday, and so my set of grandkids, there's 3 of them, New Hampshire. And being I'm here on the West Coast, if I want to go out and see them, which means I get in a plane and I drive and I fly out there because it's not a reasonable drive.
no.
Okay. So, but taking the time, and this is a busy time of year for us, but taking the time to make memories with your family. All right. And that means, bring your camera, take photographs. Angie, why is that so important?
Okay. It was my Graham's birthday party. And this is pre-cell phone days. Or at least, okay, some people had cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone. But I had a digital camera. And at my Graham's birthday party, I was taking pictures the whole time. And it was a really nice party. And everybody says, put the camera down, come sit, talk. And I said, I want to remember this. I wanted to make a scrapbook for my Graham so she could remember it too. And so I said, I want to get everybody who's here and I want to get groups. And so I took a million pictures and I put them in a scrapbook, but I also made 8x10s for everybody for Christmas. And my father was killed on December 17th. And I had already we had framed the pictures and I had printed them up. Sorry. And I gave them as Christmas presents. And we lost 2 aunts and my dad from that birthday party to Christmas that year. And those were the last pictures that anybody has of any of them, were the pictures that I took at that party. And I had printed up and I had given to everybody, which I had planned, I had them printed and ready to go in like October. So I didn't know that this was going to happen, but those pictures are cherished. And I love the picture of me standing with my dad, my favorite picture. And I had somebody else take it. And it was just Dad, come here. I want a picture of us. And that was the last time I saw him. That was the last time he had his arm around me. And I have that. And I will have that for forever. And I remember that moment when I really, really miss him. I remember that moment when I look at that picture. And he's gone now 14 years this December.
Yeah. And also for those of us who are the picture takers, I'm the picture taker. Okay. And I go through a lot of photos and I realize I'm not in any of them because I'm the picture taker. All right. So if you're the picture taker, hand your camera off to somebody to take pictures. And even if it's the cell phone so that they can share, because it's easy to share photos via the cell phone. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I have a nice SLR camera, and it's not so easy to share photos on that one.
But everybody's got a camera in their pocket nowadays.
Yeah.
do.
So
Mhm.
take the picture. Just
Mhm.
it takes a second, and you'll have that for forever.
Mhm.
And don't be overly concerned with what you look like because there's a lot of pictures. I'm like, oh God, I'm not sharing this photo. And then I share it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but that picture is priceless.
Yeah.
I,
Mhm.
you know, I love that picture, and and my brother feels the same way because that was the last picture he had with my dad.
All right. So let's talk about this specific holiday. So this past Thanksgiving. Okay. And what might be a memory. So I want people who are either watching this now, watching this later. All right. So give this a little thought right this minute. What is something you will remember from, and I don't mean the fight you're having over politics. I mean something nice. All right. And you should go into I mean, there's family members and we meet, we don't discuss politics and we don't discuss religion because it's going to lead to problems and they're not going to change each other's minds. So it's best not to have those conversations. Okay. But anyway, something that was memorable that you will remember. Okay. So there's a lot I will remember for this trip is that I went down water slides. Okay. And the water slides
Nice.
are, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But they're up. You have to climb. There's like no elevator to the top of
Yeah.
the water slide.
I've never done them. What?
Okay. So the water slide is you basically go up, I don't know, 6 to 8 flights of stairs. Okay.
Mhm.
Up. Of course, the grandkids are like running up them, and I'm like, dude, slow down. Okay. The only reason I kept up with one of them was because he broke his ankle and he was wearing support on his foot. So he was a little hobbling. Okay. So we were able to hobble up 6 flights of stairs to get to the water slide. So you get into then like a big tube and they shoot you down the water slide. And there was one we went to for those who are in the area. There's a place called Great Wolf Lodge and it's an indoor water park.
Okay.
Okay. They have one water slide that they call the tornado, but everyone else calls the toilet bowl because basically you're like flushed.
Uh-huh. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Grandma, you are.
Yeah, I got off of that one, and my grandson's like, "Let's do this again." I'm like, "Let's not."
Yeah.
I will do any other water slide you want except for that one.
Uh-huh.
So,
How
but you know
cool
what?
is that, though? I mean,
Mhm.
those kids are going to go back to school this week and be like, "I went on water slides with my grandmother," and other kids are going to be like, "Wait, what? That's
Yeah.
awesome!"
You
You
get to be
know,
the good grandma.
yeah, and the one that doesn't say no to anything. Can we do this? Oh, yes, you can.
Okay.
Don't worry about what your mom says. Okay, your mom's not in charge at the moment. Grandma's in charge at the moment.
Rank.
Yep.
There's rank.
Mhm.
Grandma's up here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trust me, I know.
So I outrank her. So they did. I mean, it's really nice. It is really geared for kids. Um, if you're going to go, I will tell you, it is not a cheap weekend, but that is what you work for.
Mhm.
Okay. That's what you work for. So you can spend the money and spend that time. So I got 2 grandkids who are apparently Magi Masters. And to get that Magi Master, you basically had to walk like 12 miles to do that.
Okay.
I did not walk 12 miles. I was
Let's get the end, honey.
okay. Probably closer to 4. But if anyone who's done Super Zoo, honestly, 12 miles is like a drop in
Right.
the bucket.
Oh my gosh. Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So I will remember that. And I did get pictures of myself. Okay. So Denise.
Yes. This holiday, so I love watching all the kids, all the cousins play as they grow up and stuff like that. Like it's normally not about me. It's sort of watching all the kids because I mean, we hang out. Don't get me wrong, it's family and all that other stuff. But just watching the kids have a grand old time and grow every year, like, just is so cool to watch. And I struggled with, I know we're all about making money and stuff. And I know the last time we were on, we were talking about how to take care for yourself and stuff like that through the holidays, whenever we did all that. I went through a big period of like doing that Christmas hustle, the holiday hustle, that I was a zombie. And I will never forget, like, my son was doing dance concerts and stuff like that at Christmas time. And I was so out of it that I was not present. I wasn't mindful. So like, I always watch what I learned from that throughout the years, how we talked about not overdoing it at Christmas time and the holidays. I really watch my mental health side of everything and not working so much so I can be more mindful. So it's always the little things for me. It's watching the kids play and run around the house and grow up, all the cousins as they get older. And that's what I always like around the holidays. Just watching that.
Okay, Chris.
Well, this Thanksgiving in particular will be memorable because I've been married over 20 years now, close to 24, 25,
25 next year.
25 next year. And this is the first time I hosted my mother. And this is the first time since I've been married I cooked for her. And it was just a series of unfortunate events when my dad was alive that prevented her from coming over. And then once he passed, because he also passed right around Christmas, she wanted no part of the holidays. Like, it was, she just didn't. Thanksgiving was always the big holiday for dad, and she did all this cooking, and she wanted none of it. And it was also right around their wedding anniversary. So this was the first year that kind of everything meshed right, where even though Thanksgiving was her wedding anniversary, it was far enough past that she almost forgot it. I don't know if you can really almost forget, or it wasn't weighing on her mind every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really nice. So I enjoyed very much cooking in my new kitchen and then not being able to move the next day. Like, oh yeah, everything hurt. But when we talk about memories and self-care, they're so intertwined, because I think we've all said it, and it's happened to me. I've done the Christmas hustle, so right around Christmas I would get sick or get bronchitis or get, in times before the plague, it was bronchitis or pneumonia, and I wouldn't be able to enjoy the holidays because all I wanted to do was sleep. That's what I wanted for Christmas. Extra naps. And I was happy that I got extra naps, but it's not really, not really something you're going to be taking pictures of that great nap you had Christmas Day. As great as it is, listen, I'm never going to knock down a good nap, but it's not the same as that moment you got with your family. So.
Okay, Angie, your turn.
Well, I had a rousing conversation with my gram. It's a little risque. Her friend, again, my gram is 104 and still lives in the family home. Mows her own lawn, trims her own hedges, walks 5 miles a day. She's basically Superwoman.
So I should have taken her to Great Wolf Lodge and just set her off with the grandkids.
Seriously. She's her friend, and they're just friends. After my grandfather passed, she's like, no. His name is Rudy. and he wants very much to be more than friends. She says he's a child. He's 86. Um, he's basically he could be my baby. He's 86. So
Well-
he came over for Thanksgiving and he brought a zucchini that he grew in his greenhouse, along with some other squash and vegetables. And he's like, Isabel, look at this zucchini. And she's like, it was a giant zucchini. She's like, you can't eat a giant zucchini. That's not good zucchini. You eat the little zucchinis. And here he is, like, look at my big zucchini. And she's like, sweetheart, I am not impressed with your zucchini. You can keep that zucchini in your pants. And and then he gave her magazine. And on the cover of the magazine was Seniors and Sex, Keeping Us Young. And she was like, he's like, I brought this for you. And she took the magazine. She's like, I held it in my hand. I read the cover and said, no. And I handed it back. So he's like, what should we do with my zucchini? And she's like, with that zucchini? And she's like, give it to me. So he's like, oh, okay. So he gives it the zucchini. She's like, and then I put it in the Ninja. We got her a
Oh
Ninja.
God, that's worse.
I put it in the Ninja and I said, we'll make bread with it. It's too big to actually be soft enough to eat. She's like, no one could eat that. And he was mortified that she pureed zucchini. But her zucchini bread is literally to die for. And so he liked the zucchini bread. He's like, well, I mean, as disappointed as I am that this is what we made out of that zucchini, it is very good. And she's like, there was nothing else going to happen with that zucchini.
Oh
I died. He was in tears. And she told me, she's like, as if. And oh my God. So yeah, that is my Thanksgiving memory, is this guy desperately hitting on my gram. And she's just like, yeah, step off.
Okay, so then there's dealing with a little bit of grief around the holidays. You know what? We all lost somebody. My parents are long gone. Okay. Denise and I were mentioning, because my mom died. She died. She was 51 years old.
Mhm.
So that whole 50 to 52 for me was like a total freak out year, because my mom died at 51. All right. So I'm 50 and now I'm approaching 51. My mother died at 51. And so that was tough. And then all through 51 until I actually hit 52, I felt like I cleared the hurdle there.
Yeah, I'm turning the same age at 44. So that's this year. I'm 43, and yeah, that whole thing. And my mom, actually, the anniversary is January 5th. So not only it comes to January 5th, and then I turn, next year the same age. So yeah, it's definitely surreal. It's definitely a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't have any real advice for you because I don't know what to tell you. It was just
Weird.
it's a weird and it's a tough 2 years. I think I was probably more superstitious about everything
Right.
during that period.
I could see that. Yeah.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother died of something. They didn't do an autopsy on her. She wouldn't go to the doctors. And the reason she wouldn't go to a doctor was because when she was pregnant with me, they had her take the drug DES, which, later turned out to be very problematic. And so after that, she would never trust what a doctor had to say. So knew she wasn't well, but she wouldn't go to the doctor. So,
and I know, so I don't have the issues. My mom was an alcoholic, so she had a whole slew of things, and that is not me. So I don't have those. I don't have those fears or anything, which is nice, and I don't have that aspect of it. It's just more of the, she figured it out when it was too late and started working on herself. And yeah, I mean, her body just gave out and it was very unexpected. So that's, that's sort of where my mental side is. So you just never know, life's too short. You don't know. And that's, the memories part of it. I still remember, like, it was so weird the Christmas before she passed away, she was actually trying, and like she had me over and for dinner and she was around. So like, I mean, she was actually trying to get better. And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, she was gone. So it was definitely weird, to have that whole thing. You don't know. You never know. So yeah, I've learned to be more mindful because of it and really take everything in.
When I worked at corporate, back when I was at corporate, was when both my father and sister-in-law passed. And this isn't necessarily holidays related, but it's thematic. There were times my sister asked me to do things for her or asked me, and I'm like, I can't. I have work that day. I've got to work. And I'll never forget, like, I told her that once and she said something like, aha, the plot thickens, or something completely like made no sense to me at the time. But I had PTO. It existed.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's something especially about the corporate mentality. They don't want you to use that time off. And I have very few really big regrets in my life, but that's definitely one that's not fixable because she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't take that PTO with you.
Nope.
I mean, and it took 2020 and having to be off for 6 weeks. And I'm like, oh, dogs didn't get groomed and the earth did not spin off its axis.
Right. Yep. At the end of the day, I love what we do, but it's just dog hair. Like that's what I try and tell everyone. It's just dog hair. It is just a haircut. That we're not vets, we're not medical. This isn't, at the end of the day, it's dog hair. It's how a dog looks. I understand, yes, we have the dogs that people don't take care of and they neglect and all other stuff. But at the end of the day, it's dog hair. And, is it worth it? Is it worth the headaches and losing out on life and memories for dog hair? I love what I do. Wouldn't change it, but it's just dog hair.
Or bunny hair.
Or bunny hair or kitty hair.
Okay.
Which is stuck to my face. Bunny hair is completely stuck to my face. I've been trying to wipe it off. And it's like it's in my eyelashes.
And so before we wrap it up, and I don't have the book here in my office, it's actually out in the kitchen. I got your book today.
Ooh.
Yes. So
I have it right there.
I'm waiting for Pasadena because I want to get it purchased and autographed all in the same time.
I won't be at Pasadena.
I thought you were going to be at Pasadena. Why
I'll be
did
at
I think
Teton. I don't know.
that? I mean,
Pasadena is like one of the only ones I'm not going to. But I have a trade show a month, pretty much next year.
Welcome.
Yep.
Yeah. Welcome to our world.
Uh-huh.
I will talk to you about packing tips later.
Oh no, that I am really good at.
Okay.
And she's got her priority pass lounge.
Yes, I do.
Ah.
But I'm actually so that expires coming up after Atlanta. Right before Atlanta. So I'm actually trading that in for Delta Sky miles.
There you go. Get the American Express card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what does that do?
Well, if you get, well, depending on which card you get, we'll discuss credit cards when we finish this.
Okay. No, I meant the Delta Sky Lounge. That one. I want the rather than Priority Pass. I want the Delta. Lounge.
Yeah, but there's ways you can use a Delta credit card to like get you complimentary upgrades and all sorts
Yeah,
of
we
good
need to
stuff.
chat.
Yeah,
We need to chat.
we'll discuss that afterwards. Okay, but so upcoming trade shows. All right, Chris, you're going to be at all of them, correct?
All of them except I'm waiting to hear about Northwest, and I will not be at Pet Quest.
Okay.
As far as I know, yeah, Pet Quest and Orlando, I'm definitely not doing. I'm probably gonna be at the Northwest. I don't know yet, but everything else.
Okay. So I'll be at Pasadena, Atlanta Pet Fair, and then the Northwest show is like literally the following weekend. But that becomes a local show for me, so that's not a huge deal. Then after that, there is the Teton show, the Super
Rocky
Zoo,
Mhm.
and I will probably do Hershey again this year.
Let's see. I'll be at Pasadena, Atlanta, Intergroom, Pet Quest, Hershey, All American, and Super Zoo. I think those are the ones I think that's the circuit I'm doing this year. So
All right, I've got Atlanta, Intergroom, Teton, Colorado, Super Zoo, Hershey, and New England.
Awesome. Okay, so we're at time. Okay. So I just want to leave everybody with this. Don't forget to make memories this holiday. Okay.
mhm.
Even if it's a phone call and you can't be there in person,
Yeah.
at least make that call. And maybe you'll get to hear a funny story about a little old man with the zucchini.
Okay. And if you don't have any family at all right, there's still things within your community that you can become involved with.
Mhm.
Take yourself out and go look at Christmas lights and bring your dog with you. One of the greatest things I did last year is I took Cricket and we drove around and looked at Christmas lights and we
Aw.
had a blast. He thought it was the coolest thing. And it was just me and Cricket. And it was so much fun. So take your dog out, go look at Christmas lights, and enjoy every second of it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll see everybody next week. Next week.
Next